Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and welcome to the second game of the divisional round. This time, it's an NFC West battle. It's the Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers for this one. And man, oh man, I can't even believe the domination I saw last night to end off the Saturday night slate for this game. Oh my God, I'm going to be ecstatic during this entire video. I apologize if this gets a little loud, but man, let's get in to recapping this game before I ramble on too much more in the intro. What a game this was. If you like this video, please consider giving a like. Lets me know if I'm doing a good job on these videos or not. And if you'd like to, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more playoff content from me, but also any more Seahawks content in general. That would be greatly appreciated. Game summary: the Seahawks dominate at home 41 to the 49ers 6. Let's get to the Seahawks because they were the home team. 281 total yards, 106 yards passing, 175 yards rushing, averaged 5.4 yards per play, had 19 first downs. They went 4 for 10 on third down. Didn't go for it on fourth down. They had 52 total plays, 2 sacks allowed, 3 punts, 2 penalties for 5 yards given up, 0 fumbles, 0 interceptions thrown by Sam Darnold today, and 31 minutes and 11 seconds of possession time for the Seahawks. For the 49ers, they ended off the day with 236 total yards, 128 passing yards, 108 rushing yards. They averaged 3.9 yards per play, 15 first downs. They went 6 for 12 on third down, went for it on fourth down 3 times, didn't get it, went 0 for 3. Had 60 total plays, 2 sacks allowed, 1 punt, 3 penalties for 36 yards given up, 2 fumbles lost, 1 interception thrown, picked off by Ernest Jones. And the 49ers ended off the day with 28 minutes and 49 seconds of possession time. For Ryan's focus players, let's talk about the Seahawks QB, Sam Darnold. 12 for 17, 124 yards, the 1 touchdown, no interceptions. The 1 touchdown goes to JSN in the first quarter of this game. Man, Sam Darnold didn't have to do basically anything. He was a little bit banged up. I think one of the things that you've got to realize is that Sam Darnold did not throw much in practice. He hasn't thrown a ball. He hadn't thrown a ball since what, Thursday of this week. And man, he had an oblique bit of an issue. And Sam Darnold, man, just a if you've heard any of my Seahawks game recaps from this season, game manager game. Didn't have to do much. It's basically all on the defense and the run game. And Sam Darnold plays his part. No interceptions, no issues there, and he even gets a touchdown for his trouble. So great game from Sam Darnold. He can play in big games. That's one of the big things that was a knock on him going into this season with the Vikings, coming over from the Vikings, I should say. And he can play in big games. I don't want to hear any more slander about that. Let's get to running back. Kenneth Walker have a day, 19 carries, 116 yards, average 6.1 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns in this one on the ground, had 3 receptions for 29 yards, averaging 9.7 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker, man, I gotta say, he is very, very, very important to this Seahawks offense. Without him, this Seahawks offense would not have as much explosiveness in the run game as it does. Thank you, Clint Kubiak. From the bottom of my heart, he has been an offensive coordinator that has puzzled me at times with some of his play calling, but in this, he put on a masterclass with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and man, it's just insane to see that he's got 3 touchdowns. He's an explosive wizard. His gashing ability, getting up to the second level, he does it like nobody else in the league. He's had some big runs, just being able to run to the left side of this line and the left side of this line with Charles Cross and Gray Zabel, who is turning into one of the best offensive guards I've seen from the Seahawks in many years, has been able to just push this defensive front for the 49ers back. And it's just amazing to see. Great game from Kenneth Walker. Let's get to wide receiver. You thought I was going to say JSN because he is the best player in the game at the wide receiver position, but no, Cooper Kupp had a day. 5 receptions, 60 yards, 12 yards per reception, and 0 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, man, he was the star of the show in the wide receiver core today. JSN wasn't really needed much, and he's still got it. The amount of ability that Cooper Kupp has for this team, he is amazing. Again, we know this as Seahawks fans. He was on the Rams for eons, and so glad he's back in the Pacific Northwest, man. He's just, his ability on the field is not what you get him for, but it does help when he puts in performances like that. He's still got that ability on the field to run the routes that he needs to make sure that he's a savvy veteran, that he knows where to be when Sam Darnold needs him for a safety valve play. And he's just done amazing this year. And in this game, he's the top receiver. He's got 60 yards. He's getting the first downs that's needed to secure drives, to allow the run game to start going. He's able to be there on the kind of play action passes that Sam Darnold and Clint Kubiak love for this offense. And he's done so amazing. I can't believe that we have Cooper Kupp as a mentor for JSN. We have Cooper Kupp as a mentor for guys like Tariq Young, Jake Bobo, all those guys that you need on this team. They're meshing so well together, and man, I love this team. Let's get to the Seahawks defense. Byron Murphy, D tackle, 1 solo tackle, 1 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles. Highlighting Byron Murphy here because it doesn't matter who I highlight on this defensive line, because this defensive line is one of the best in football, and that's why we call them the dark side here now in Seattle. And it's amazing to see what Byron Murphy has done over his past year, now being a nose tackle, being that pure nose tackle that we need him to be. His ability to stop the run in this game. He was stuffing Christian McCaffrey in this one, and to stuff a guy like Christian McCaffrey on the run is a very hard thing to do. Great game from Byron Murphy and this entire defensive front. This defensive front has put on a lot of pressure. They were making sure that Brock Purdy was running for his life completely in this game. And that's why they only gave up 6 points, because they were making life hell for Brock Purdy last night out there. So good game from Byron Murphy. Let's get to DB cornerback Devin Witherspoon. 3 solo tackles, 4 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. Devin Witherspoon is the best corner on this team, no doubt, man. This secondary, this team that Mike Macdonald has put together is brilliant. And Devin Witherspoon is such a competitor. He is such a good corner, picked 5th overall in 2020. And here's the thing about Devin Witherspoon is he just gets better. His tackling prowess in this game is something that I really admire. He is able to, as a corner, come up and make the tackles on Christian McCaffrey, make the tackles on Jake Tungus, who is, again, a tight end. Very hard to bring down. Christian McCaffrey, no slouch himself at running back. He is the best receiver in all of running back land. And it's Devin Witherspoon stopping those guys. Great to see. And looking at this, it's just so great to see Devin Witherspoon back on the field and doing what he can in the secondary, being one of the best lockdown corners that the Seahawks have. Let's get to linebacker Ernest Jones. 4 solo tackles, 2 assisted, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. Man, Ernest Jones is one of the best acquisitions that John Schneider has ever made as a Seahawk. I'm completely serious. He's flipped this linebacker core on its head last year. And you look at it, getting him from the Tennessee Titans, he has been a godsend for this team. Not only calling all the defensive play signals for this Mike McDonald team, but oh my God, does he show up on the field everywhere, flying to the ball. He made sure that the tone is set on defense. This is why this is one of the best defenses in the league. Would I say the best defense in the league? You know, and it's brilliant to see the interception from Brock Purdy, just steps in front of it like it's nothing, and just picks it off in the second quarter, I believe, of this game. And you look at that, the takeaways that they're able to do. This is the number one scoring defense in the league this year. And then you get to the forced fumble. He's going up against Luke Farrell, I believe his name is, another tight end for this group of 49ers that I don't know much, but he just comes up and breaks the ball up, forces the fumble, and it's brilliant to see. Nicky Mamori grabs the ball back, and or no, he hit. I believe he hit Brock Purdy there. Actually, I think because I believe he got the interception on Luke Farrell. But anyways, I'm messing up the game a little bit because I'm a little excited. But good God, like Ernest Jones is such a prolific player and such a great inside linebacker for this Seahawks group. Let's get to the 49ers. Brock Purdy, 15 for 27, 140 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, the 2 interceptions, and 5 carries for 37 yards, 7.4 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. Man, Brock Purdy, from the word go, man, like you had no chance. You're coming into Lumen Field in a playoff game, and you're coming in with all your weapons banged up. No weapons you have on this offense after everyone is just on in the hospital, essentially, on this injury report. And Brock Purdy, man, he's running for his life the whole entire game. And you can see it in his rushing stats, man. 37 yards does not tell the story of how prolific a rusher Brock Purdy can be, how he's avoiding pressure. Like, the Seahawks could have gotten multiple more sacks in this game than they had. And Brock Purdy's aloofness to try and get out of the pocket and throw some of the passes that he was throwing to Jake Tongas in this one it was insane. So even though Brock Purdy's stats don't look great, he was running for his life and he played his heart out in Lumen Field yesterday night. So a decent game from Brock Purdy, but man, just you can't avoid the dark side defense. It's a thing of beauty. Let's get to running back Christian McCaffrey. 11 carries for 35 yards, averaged 3.2 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns, had 5 receptions for 39 yards, averaging 7.8 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, the leading rusher for this team, the leading receiver for this team. That tells a story of how this game and this season has gone for the 49ers. And Christian McCaffrey, what have I not said about Christian McCaffrey? That's, I'm trying not to repeat myself here. In this game, you're going up against a defensive front that can shut you down. You're going up against 2 defenses back-to-back weeks that are punishing. And that's what happens when Christian McCaffrey gets stymied. The whole entire 49ers offense just completely goes away because they don't have enough talented people left on the field to make some of those big plays. And I think Christian McCaffrey had a decent game, but again, this is a dominant victory. There's no real silver lining that you can really take from this game if you're the 49ers. Maybe, no one expected you to be here regardless in the playoffs, considering the amount of issues you've had offensively and defensively with the injuries. So I think a great game from Christian McCaffrey nonetheless, and he had a great season. Let's get to tight end Jake Tongas. 5 receptions for 59 yards, averaged 11.8 yards per reception, the leading tight end slash receiver for this 49ers team in this game. Jake Tongas, man, I've got to say, I'm putting myself on notice because whenever George Kittle goes down, this guy, Jake, he really puts in a full effort. Some of his catches, across the middle is really interesting to watch because this Seahawks team plays a shell defense and they allow a lot of underneath stuff. They don't allow a lot of explosive plays, but Jake Tongas, man, like he catches the ball and he gets rack, and he's able to do that not only because of the defensive coverage, but because he's an actual decent tight end that's behind George Kittle, an all-pro tight end. But in this game, no George Kittle, and you need to show up for Brock Purdy, who's going to be running for his life, and he did show up with some very decent catches before he got injured in the third quarter. Let's get to the 49ers defense. Let's get to D lineman CJ West. 2 solo tackles, 0 assisted, the 1 sack on Sam Darnold, 0 forced fumbles. CJ West, man, you've got to give it to this defensive front. They have been able to get no pressure ever since Nick Bosa went down with his injury later early in this season. And this D line did not have a good game, but again, it's due to the fact that Kenneth Walker is getting up to the second level before this D line can even react. They did get a sack in this one, CJ West. So I think, all things considered, a decent game from him, trying his best and putting in the work and next man up mentality for this 49ers D line. Let's get to DB safety Malik Mustafa. 5 solo tackles, 3 assisted, the 1 sack on Sam Darnold, 0 interceptions. Malik Mustafa, man, he is a guy that's taking over for Hufunga, who went to the Broncos this offseason. And man, this guy, put him on notice as well. He's flying all over the field, when he can. And he was doing it here today. But his one thing that I got to say about Mustafa here is that he is a very fast man. When he gets unblocked, that sack against Sam Darnold, where Sam Darnold's running on a bootleg, and he's feeling the pressure from Mustafa, but he's like, oh, he's not going to catch up. I'm going to be able to throw this ball. And then Mustafa hits him down to the ground and decks him for like 20 yards on a loss on one of the drives in the first quarter. That's something that you can't really teach. That's you could teach the pursuit angles and all those things, but you can't teach that amount of heart and effort to get that sack, to never give up on a play. And Malik Mustafa, you guys in the 49ers camp have found a very good safety. So good game from him. He made some very hard hits in this one to try and stop Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Let's get to linebacker D Winters, coming back from an injury. Didn't play against the Eagles, but he played here and he was full of energy. 5 solo tackles, 4 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. Another guy that you've got to watch out for in this interior linebacker core for the 49ers. I know they have Fred Warner, but man, D Winters, he's put me on notice as a Seahawks fan, because now we're going to need to face this guy twice a year, and he's put in a lot of effort. He's a guy that was flying all over the field, getting the tackles, and he's one of the main reasons why when Kenneth Walker was going up into the second level, he was the guy that was trying to meet him in some of those run gaps, and he did get some very good tackles in this one. He made sure that Sam Darnold, when he was pressured, he was usually the guy able to try and look out for some of those scramble drill passing plays. And I think D Winters had a very good game in this one. My thoughts on the game: what a dominant playoff victory from start to finish. This team is going to the Super Bowl, no doubt. And I'm going to say, that might be a little much, but man, the like 41-6, man. I'm just going to say again, I know the 49ers are banged up. I know it's basically coming in and beating up on a team that's been injured to hell and back, but to see what this team has done in Lumen Field, this environment, the hostileness of Lumen Field is what's going to make this NFC, challenge for the Super Bowl very, very hard for anyone involved. What a dominant game from start to finish for the Seahawks, man. From the word go, from the word literally go, first play of the game, they received the kickoff, and Rashid Shaheed, oh my God, another touchdown for him. This one going for 97 yards to the end zone. And, you know, it's the first play of the game on special teams. Rashid Shaheed, man, he has had a prolific season. He's one of the best returners in the game. And people were like, when the Seahawks got him, people were like, from the New Orleans organization, the Saints, they were like, guys, you got a good one here. You got a really good one here. And the announcers every time they were saying, "Oh, he's a dangerous returner, Rashid Shaheed," and we see why, man. He's done amazing this season, and amazing is an understatement. He's done phenomenal, and I love him so much on this team because to get to get that started, to get that playoff game started, that really set the tone, man. That set the tone. This was going to be a long, long night, and it was a very long night for the 49ers. Let's go, guys. Job is not finished. Conference championship now in the NFC next week. Whoever we face, either the Bears or the Rams, we'll figure that out today. But just, oh man, it's insane. I love this team. Let's go. Keep it going. All three phases: dominant, special teams, defense, and offense. Just what a night at Lumen Field. Let's get it done. For the 49ers, I know you guys got dominated in this game, but that's why first seed is so important in the playoffs. The Seahawks had your number from the word go, because not only do they face you twice a year, not only do we face each other twice a year, but getting that extra week of preparation, I bet you, is what got this Seahawks team to have that dominating effect on you guys. Everything, again, I said in my playoff predictions, everything is in their favor, and I still thought it was going to be a one-score game. I was completely wrong. I am so happy to be wrong in that one, because that was a dominating performance. But for the 49ers, man, even though we're supposed to hate each other, I have to give you respect. I have to give you respect, just as I did in the Eagles game. You guys have played your hearts out this year with fourth string guys, third string guys, second string guys. Anybody who comes into this organization to play right now needed to step up, and they have. You guys got 12 wins on the year, and no one expected you to be here in the playoffs, to get into the divisional round, to win in the wild card against the former Super Bowl champs in the Eagles last week. I know you got dominated here, but the Seahawks were just the better team. If you guys were even a little bit healthy, it probably would have been a different game. But at the end of the day, I got to give you massive chops for this one. But yeah, the Seahawks are going to the championship, man. Hasn't been a championship since 2014. Like, man, this oh man, this game, this team, this game, everything. This cannot be any better. I'm on cloud nine right now. But anyways, that is it for this divisional round game recap. Game number 2 of the divisional. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, Seahawks fans. How do you feel? And I will see you in the next video for game 3 later on today. The game recap will probably come out sometime on Monday. But anyways, take care of yourselves. Go Hawks, go. And let's make it to the Super Bowl. We got this.